This is part of where they learn how hard it is you bite and not to bite so that it hurts. If Bee or the pups were putting too much pressure on, one or the other of them would yelp. And this is how BeeJay teaches them, you know, a little bit of pressure. You can hold, but you don't hurt. If you don't have them with mom and they're playing like this, if they're playing too rough, what you do is you take their ear and you pinch their ear between your finger and your forefinger. Or if they're playing too rough, you stop. You just stop and ignore them. Turn your back and ignore them. Do not respond to them. Do not interact with them. And then they learn, okay, this is not good. That takes away my attention. Attention is a good thing. Lack of attention is punishment. So they learn quickly. Lack of attention means that thing was wrong, so I stopped doing that activity. It is required sometimes to make sure that you discipline your pup just like a child. If they don't know that they have to listen to you implicitly, they're going to run out into the road and get run over, just like a child has to learn. You do not cross the road without mom and dad. All lessons like that where they have to learn that when you speak, it is law. Because you don't know when you speak that it's going to be necessary. And with these dogs, the bottom line is they have to be able to stop, stay where you put them. No, you're okay, baby. You're fine. You're fine. That'll do. That'll do. You're all right. Sorry, I didn't mean to bother you. They have to learn that they have to obey implicitly, so that if you tell them not to do something, then they don't do it, because it could be that you need them to lie still in a ditch in the wet for hours, because if they move, they'll be eaten by a cougar or something. So they need to know that when you say something, it is the law no matter what, until you tell them that it's okay. So it's important also, besides teaching them what to do, that you also give them a release command that's very, very different than what somebody else would say. And I've seen in households where they have multiple pets, each pet will have a different release command to make sure that only they respond when it's their turn to be loose. And that's something that I didn't do, which is a training error in my training that I didn't think about ahead of time. That each dog, I have to say their name and then tell them what to do, and make sure the other two stay where they're supposed to, and depending on how many I have. And it is difficult if you haven't given them each a release command when you have more than one animal. That way you get that one is going to respond to you and not the other. What I do usually is I give one dog a command to do something else then, and keep the other two in their position of control wherever I ask them to be or stay or do. If I just leave them there, then it works that way. But it is a good idea if you have two animals that they each have a separate, very different release command. And it could be any kind of stupid word. It could be something that you wouldn't normally use, like, I was thinking peanut butter, but that's not good. Butterscotch or whatever. But it should be something short, simple, easy to remember, you know, so that they know the sound, and the sound is very different from their other commands. So something to think about as you're training your pup. But anyway, I have to go and do some other work today, so I'll leave you with that. And there's BeeJay and her puppy, who's going out to Glenn and Christine out at Powell River, so she'll be very happy. She's going to go for a truck ride, and then she's going to go for a ferry ride, and then she'll be home in the next couple days. So there we are. We'll talk to you later. You have a good weekend. Bye-bye.